This is our Unconstitutional Awakening program. Liftoff will start in T-minus 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition. Brought to you by KD Consulting Redesign.
Ahoy there, mateys. It's time to set sail on another episode of Unconstitutional Awakening. Tonight, we've got our newest co-host family member joining us, Miss Caitlin Bryan up there. You can see in the corner up at the top. I found her hanging around TikTok, guys. You know how I feel about TikTok people and how much great information's out there people are sharing and such. And we've been looking to fill that spot again, so I figured Caitlin would be a great fit. So here she is for the first time on Unconstitutional Awakening, the podcast, you guys. I'd like you to give a great welcoming and show some love in the comments and stuff like that. And, you know, thank everybody for that. And then we brought back my good buddy from way up north, Mr. John. How you doing tonight, sir? I see you got a fantastic hat joining us.
Ahoy, matey. Yes, I had to commandeer this hat from my girlfriend's house, but I figured I could put her to good use.
Awesome. Bandit, I know you're with me tonight. I appreciate it, bud. I knew you were busy today, bud, so I appreciate you joining on. So
doing good.
Yeah, awesome. So, of course, you guys, I got to thank everybody that's out there watching, listening, and paying attention to us on all those platforms all the way around. Man, you guys know that you can find all that good information by hanging out over there at the unconstitutionalawakening.com. You got some new tabs going on, so you can find stuff about our hosts and stuff like that, and links to get back to them. And, more coming too. And then you can get down here to find us on Rumble, Odyssey, and BitChute. And even some of our episodes are now being loaded onto YouTube. The ones that are like our pirate episodes and stuff, like the things that aren't too spicy. Because, we get a little funky over here. And, of course, all the listening apps you got all worldwide, and including just on right here on the website. You can check it on out. You also got links to our merch store, as well as our sponsors. You guys know how much we love our friends in Liberty over there, like Kirk Elliott. You guys know this one, man. I say it every week. KirkElliottPhD.com/JimBob/. He'll get you consulted on some gold and silver and the way that the dollar's tanking worldwide right now. I think some gold and silver in your pocket might be a wise investment, but that's just my opinion. You guys can go check out Kirk, though. He'll probably be able to help you out with that. Of course, we also got our local energy healer and soap and candle maker with Peachy Key Creations. And she's got that new Dragon's Blood Pirate soap. Man, that's themed strictly for the show here, you guys. So you guys make sure you get some before she runs out. She's I think she's already down to only like 6 or 7 bars left. So you guys make sure you get an order in on it. It's Peachy Key Creations. You can find her on Etsy and on Facebook. And my little buddy over there at Ammo Can Survival on Instagram. He's got all your camping, first aid, and survival stuff, as well as ghillie suits and awesome plate carriers and so much more, man. Like he's got it going on and trying to help folks out, man. You guys give him a ring, check him out. He'll make it to your size, to order. That's Ammo Can Survival. And then my best little new buddy over there, helping the people that have gotten away from the indoctrination camps and started doing things for their own kids, man. This homeschool's connected with Brett Pike. He does the Cubs to Bears books and got all kinds of stuff going on at classicallearner.com. Man, he's got all kinds of things for you to help teach your kids with outside the system and stuff, man, and real good stuff. Dude used to be a teacher, and he left the system when that whole Winnie the Flu thing happened. So you guys make sure you check that on out too. And anything else you want to check out, if you ever want to reach out to any of the hosts or anything here, man, just do it over here on UA. We're always working on it and trying to check folks out. You can find us on Facebook, Captain Conspiracy and the Freedom Pirates. We keep it going everywhere we can, man. We got memes and TikToks, and Bandit's even got a new TikTok going. You guys make sure you get over there and give him some love. We'll make sure we share a link to that tonight too. So tonight we decided, since we had a couple days off, we needed to talk some conspiracy talk. Like, that's something Caitlin's, known for over there on TikTok. If you guys have ever checked her out, she's that conspiracy bitch. Like, she's got it going on over there, guys. Like, she's full of some good information. Caitlin, how are you doing up there tonight?
I am doing great. It's a very beautiful night in North Carolina, as always. In the summertime, getting ready to be fall. So
you want to tell the folks out there that are listening and watching to see you, that have seen you for the first time, maybe a little bit about yourself?
Yeah. So like Jabab said, I am on TikTok. You can find me. It'll be the conspiracy theorist or that conspiracy theory bitch. I'm 28. I got 3 kids. And they are giving my husband a time right now. They are not used to me being away, but they'll survive. They will survive. So yeah, we were talking before the show started about the flat Earth thing and Antarctica and what's behind Antarctica, and that's always fascinated me.
So I actually had this really cool video that I had found that I sent over Bandit's Way earlier that was supposedly taken. I'm not exactly sure when, but it was supposedly taken over the ice wall. There's a lot of flat earthers like to say it. Guys, I promise this isn't going to turn into another episode like it was with Moral Bob.
No.
But there is some reality to it. Even Bandit was saying that there is patches of green, on the other side. Let me make sure I got the sound. I apologize. There is patches of green and stuff on the other side out there. So I mean, it's pretty interesting. We'll check this out real quick. It's only a minute long.
Bunger leans forward in amazement. His eyes have caught a sudden and unbelievable change in scenery. The universal white is turned to chocolate brown, dotted with blue. A cameraman goes into action. 300 square miles of land without snow. Land that might be in New Mexico or Arizona. Pictures alone will prove Bunger has discovered a warm oasis in the shadow of the pole. It is for such supreme moments as this that men brave the hardships of exploration. The astounding, undreamed of fact is that they are over a chain of warm water lakes, whose shores, except for small patches, are free of ice and snow. Commander Bunger circles the largest lake in sight, 5 miles long. He comes in to make a landing. Water temperatures must be recorded. Samples taken. He finds the water fresh, the temperature 38 degrees Fahrenheit. On the shores are vast deposits of coal and of minerals of the utmost importance to civilization. Aside from their headline discovery, Bunger and his men have another good reason.
Small glimpse of what is...
So, I mean, I definitely believe there's other parts of land and stuff back there like that. To me, that's not surprising to see.
I could get behind that more than the Earth being flat. It's flat.
Yeah.
It is a tundra, though. Like, it's not like a giant floating iceberg like the North Pole. There's land available in the North Pole. I mean, look at Greenland. Look at Greenland and Iceland. I mean, they're not covered with ice. There's land underneath that ice, and sometimes it becomes visible, sometimes not. I just have a hard time wrapping my head around, like, I always want to know, like, if there is a wall, what's on the other side of that wall? Because we all know, and I've said this before, we all know the government is shitty at keeping secrets. I mean, they can't keep anything a secret. What have we? There would be. I'm not saying that it's not there. I'm just like, why haven't we seen pictures? Why haven't we seen video? It's because that would be one thing that people would be just clamoring to like explore to get there, and then to get on the other side of the wall. Why haven't we heard communication from them?
Well, to that, Brandon, I will say the Antarctic Treaty.
Yeah,
the treaty.
Yeah.
The only treaty that's ever recognized by all the nations that have
Every
signed it and
country
continue
in the
to
world.
recognize it.
Yeah.
Everybody can agree on is that we can't go there. So
Yeah, it's fucked up. It makes me really want to go there.
Right?
It does. that makes it
like
more
Area
of
51.
like. I think that makes it more of like a no man's land. So one country can't claim, because, man, I'm telling you, if Antarctica is known for one thing, it natural resources there, the minerals there are insane. That's like with Greenland.
Yeah.
The mineral natural resources in Greenland are to the extreme. And the same way with the Antarctica. I just think that treaty makes it so one country does not encroach and take it for themselves more than anybody else. And it's like a neutral area for scientific research. Now, scientific research of what?
Yeah.
Remain like,
that's the
because
question.
I have heard some
of the blue
wild shit about.
Have you heard of the
like,
blue ice?
Up there. Yeah, and I have heard of like scientists opening up interdimensional rifts in underneath the ice in Antarctica. They have found alien spacecraft underneath the ice in Antarctica. It's wild because if you look, look at the pyramids. The 1955 Encyclopedia Britannica, that is like one of the holy grail to get your hands on of stuff that they have censored now, shows pictures of lush green land in Antarctica. Not necessarily like pictures of the ice wall, but like habitable land.
Right.
Well, Bandit, you were.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry, Caitlin. Yeah. So Bandit was just saying, the government's not good at, hiding shit. They have gotten very good at wiping the internet from shit. So we were talking about, Bandit, you knew what the
internet
operation
is
was
forever,
called.
man.
Yeah, well, it's true if you know where to find stuff, but like there used to be this great little YouTube video I watched about that World War II Arctic expedition. And I cannot, for the life of me, find. I've looked for it recently. I can't find it.
You won't be able to find it on YouTube.
No, I guess not. No,
really good at censoring YouTube.
Yeah,
but the internet is forever.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
but I mean, but to go
to look now.
Yeah, you got to know. I guess there's that Wayback Machine too and stuff. So you can even find stuff that's been deleted. But just adding to that stuff. I mean, like something went down up there during World War II. Like this is facts. They sent a huge fleet. Hitler sent a huge fleet. America sent a huge fleet. Something happened up there. No one knows what. I kind of, if there's any ridiculous kind of theory I like, it's that kind of like you're saying, Bandit. I'm not really down with flat Earth, but there could be something going on, some sort of tunnel that goes underneath the Earth, hollow Earth. I don't know.
Something wild.
That could be, yeah.
Are we going to the bed?
So I'm in the dead center of Antarctica.
There's a room.
Okay. All right. Well, check this out. First of all, it makes this weird half circle. Okay, which to me, listen, this is my.
It's wild. No, it's wild, dude. It really is.
Where they took a picture that was possibly something that was bigger, and brought it in to make a circle. Because that's the way that picture editing works. But when you do this thing right here, and you grab this little guy and you go, "Hey, go here and show me what's on the ground here." Okay, watch this. What's this?
What the fuck?
What's this?
That's a house.
Where am I?
I have a theory. I have a theory of this. I do have a theory of this.
Does it take you there? Does it take you to
really
this?
legit
It took me here. This is where
every
it took
time
me.
you click it.
Every time you bring the little guy to the thing, because look, if I back out, it'll back me back out.
People have been known to put stuff
And
in
there's that.
Google
And then-
Earth that don't belong there.
And then we're gonna put
It
this
is.
guy back.
It
We'll
really
put him
is
over
a
here this
great.
time.
Yeah.
It says no street view available in that specific spot.
Huh.
So let's move him again back to about where he was, which was about right there. Here he comes. Here it goes.
I think Google
Let's go
Earth
to the
is like
living
the
room.
Wikipedia of
We're
maps.
back in this little
You
room.
think they can, like, different people can
Yo,
change
what's
it
on the
if they know
table
how?
there? Oh, it's an old phone. I
Yeah,
thought it was a
I
grenade.
really
got a
think
phone.
people
Is it a
think
grenade?
Google Earth.
Are those 2 grenades?
They look like pine cones.
They're
Okay.
bases. I think this is the equivalent to Wikipedia as far as mapping software
Focus,
goes.
prime,
Sure,
and
sure.
mobility.
It could be, yeah. Well, I was gonna say I forget that it is a tundra like environment because that's not what we're taught. We're taught that it's ice. It's nothing but ice.
There's a
There's
lot of
nothing there.
other cool things.
Hey,
out
we're
here.
we're told that oil is fossil fuels. Let's get
And
yeah,
that's
let's get
Mhm.
that's total
Yeah, from
garbage. And
dinosaurs, right?
speaking of that,
And
have you
speaking of your
seen-
tunnels there, John, don't that kind of look like something going on underneath the
Certainly. Certainly.
Huh?
I mean,
And
shit.
Speaking of
Wow, that's
fossil
kind of
fuels,
cool. I gotta fuck with Google Earth more. You can do some
Have
kind of
you-
weird stuff, eh?
You can
Have you seen-
practice like finding tunnels underground just by going over the Google Earth of like Charleston and South Carolina and Georgia because there
You
are
about the
tons of tunnels underneath Georgia.
like the
Carolina.
Denver airport.
Yeah.
Right.
Google Earth is
That-
wild.
looking those
Really
pictures up,
far down
something else,
the
man.
road. I imagine the Denver airport goes down like the Umbrella Corporation in the Resident
How many
Evil.
billions did they go over budget? How many billions did they go over budget?
On the Denver airport? And there's-
Yeah, in the Denver airport, I think it was like two billion over budget.
Oh, just 2 billion.
Just 2
there
billion.
really
okay.
is. There really
Oh,
is
there-
like underground bunkers there that you have
Oh,
to
yeah.
have clearance to get into.
Yeah, there's something
Yeah,
going
it's
on.
not a
because
lot.
there are pictures of like the construction that took place underneath. Those are free to look at, like the construction photos of the Denver airport and how deep it goes. But when that was totally finished, nothing else was brought out about it. And people like that work there, that have worked there for years, have no idea
Yeah.
what is down there. They've
No
not
shit.
even been close. They're not allowed to. In fact, 99% of the airport personnel are not allowed in those areas underneath the airport. So
I'm
it's a
pretty
separate
sure
entity. It's a separate
really
entity that is under there, whatever
Yeah.
it is.
I'm pretty sure it's owned by some secret society of elites, and that is like their secret bunker for when shit hits the fan.
Yeah,
You know,
that makes
is
sense.
a very real possibility. I didn't even think about it like that, but that is a very real possibility because what better way to make people disappear than at an airport?
True.
Cave
Exactly.
systems.
True.
You know,
Exactly.
especially for smuggling people, what better way to do it than right into an airport and then
Yeah.
they go nowhere?
right.
That's where Osama
And
is.
trafficking things
Yeah.
that could be
No,
used for
he-
human trafficking. It could be used for yes, we could
Denver.
be keeping Osama down there.
System and the missing
He
people
was-
line up.
He was with the cave system.
Yep.
Oh yeah,
That's
there's
very
and I believe it like connects. I believe it connects everywhere. Like the tunnel
Sure.
system, throughout America, into Canada, and then into Mexico, and even
well, what
to other parts of the world. I mean,
what
Jack.
better way to build a tunnel system than piggyback off of existing caves?
Yeah.
Well,
It's not even that outlandish. I mean, the Underground Railroad was a thing. That's a very real thing. And like, fuck, that's history.
Still
That's
Well,
not.
not just
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
My good buddy
It's
Josh
real.
Reed, my good buddy Josh Reed disclosed with me one night on an episode of a show with him about delivering submarines to Nevada because there are sub ports in the middle of the desert because you can get in and out from the entirety of you can get in and out of the entirety of the United States and Canada and Mexico through underground subsystems because there are water tunnels that lead out to the ocean.
Well, Ghislaine
That's why
Maxwell,
this
she owned one that connected to Epstein's Island.
She was a
there
sub
a
pilot.
Yeah, she was a sub pilot, and
What? I didn't know that. That's
You didn't
yeah.
know this? Oh, she was a sub pilot. They owned a sub.
Yeah, they owned a sub, and there was a tunnel system underneath the island. Yeah. And
So it brings
but
more
it's
credibility
documented.
to. It brings more credibility to that picture of Epstein in the U.S. naval uniform.
Right. Right.
What a disgrace.
And that makes you think, I mean, how much of our Navy can we trust? How much of our actual, I mean, really, our Navy officers that are higher ups in charge. And I mean, I hate to speak on this because I have a relative that's fairly close to me that is very high up in the Army. But I mean, how much of them can we really trust?
As long as they're not ultra rich, you can probably still trust them. That's my take. Yeah. As long as they don't have money to buy their own fucking subs. Like, it's kind of insane. There's like this world of elites that, like, it's just a different world. You know, there's subs and tunnels and fucking islands. I mean, like, it's a different world. So
when speaking about like ultra rich billionaire elites and stuff like that, you kind of want to hope that, you know, at least in my opinion, you want to hope that there are a few that are on our side that are pushing back against like the evil ones. You know,
it's not Elon Musk though. It's not Elon Musk.
He's
controlling. You're not a fan of Musk on this channel, friend.
And he's just a billionaire on paper.
Yeah,
you know, with assets only.
It's all stocks. Yeah.
You really hope that there are some, you know, ultra rich elite.
Yeah, you really hope there
are working in the shadows with us, you know, helping us out.
I mean, I would,
at least in my opinion.
So.
Yeah, I would like to think so. You know that.
What do you think about Anonymous? Because I used to love Anonymous, but
they used to be. I wish
you mean the CIA?
Like, if anything they say, yeah. See, there it is. 110%. It's the CIA. It's Big Brother. It's just. It's like you wouldn't.
Now it is when now that they all got arrested.
Yes.
But before that, who really knows?
Sure.
And the same thing. Could you really trust them, even if you didn't, even if they weren't the CIA? Could you really trust them that somebody like that hadn't been compromised by the NSA or? No, are they using Edward Snowden?
No, they just No, I'm dead serious. There is I'm about to bring it up. It's the Langley Files podcast. They want to start a podcast to educate and connect with the general public.
Hey, they see all these other white boys starting podcasts. They want to get in on the action.
Yeah.
I mean, they're no different from any other frat. I don't think so.
I mean, yeah. If they got the MK Ultra episode would be pretty juicy, I reckon.
Do you really think they're going to
That's a good one, man.
So many layers. Oh my gosh.
we don't do anything, you guys. We just push pencils and you know we
ignore our nasty 75-year history. Ignore the 75-year history.
Sure.
We didn't fund the crack epidemic. We didn't kill Gary Webb.
We didn't put cocaine in. We didn't kill JFK.
We didn't, you know, sponsor.
The last 2 nights I've been listening to this podcast before I go to bed, and I haven't finished it yet. But it's about this guy that worked in the CIA. It's called Deathbed Confessions. But God, what is his name? I know his son's name is Saint. I don't know if you've ever heard this story before. But basically, he's got a bunch of cancer. But he was in the CIA for years and years and years. And he was around and was complacent and knew about the JFK assassination and basically admitted to his son what he thought was going to be on his deathbed. He ended up living for another 4 years and like recanted and wanted all of his notes back and stuff.
Sure.
And said it wasn't true, you know, blah, blah, blah. But apparently he said that, you know, Lyndon B. Johnson was the one that had it orchestrated. He named 4 other CIA agents that were involved directly. Apparently it was supposed to happen before Dallas, and it got changed last minute due to like personal reasons for Lyndon B. Johnson. But basically that the Grassy Hill Knoll gunman was the correct theory.
Seems obvious if you really look into
Doesn't it?
Yeah. There wasn't one. It wasn't one fucking bullet. Like how the fuck does anyone even believe this shit? It is.
I want to think. I think that it was the driver.
Interesting.
Actually, I have a video on my TikTok. I did a series about this, of course.
I've never heard this.
The Jackie Kennedy theory. I don't know if you've ever heard that, but that it was Jackie Kennedy. Yeah.
Jackie seemed pretty rattled when she was putting his brains back in his skull there, but I guess that is pretty.
The way jumping out of the car.
So she came from a Jesuit family, and she was raised as a Jesuit, which is just another society. Basically, her and JFK's marriage was arranged due to their affiliations and their backgrounds in the societies that they were involved in and grew up in and were raised in. But like half of those videos got taken down, of course, because of the graphic scenes of that assassination. But there is one video still up of the Jackie Kennedy theory where it says that, you know, when she was handed the bouquet of roses, that was when she got the gun. And first shot comes from the driver who misses, and Jackie is basically the backup.
Awesome.
And take care of it.
Interesting. I would have. That's interesting because when you think about it, it's like the Onassis family, and I think the Kennedys are one of the 13 Illuminati blood families, the bloodlines. I know the Onassis is definitely part of that. I think the Kennedys might actually be in there too. The one of the 13 Illuminati bloodlines.
They are actually one of the bloodlines, which brings me into me being me. So. You know, the JFK assassination didn't actually video so many.
Oh my god!
So
no fucking way.
So I believe in the actor-based reality, or even this gets into cloning and such. So
I mean, I do too.
You start to look at some really interesting facts, like pictures close up. And
so he went from technically trying to be one of the best presidents to one of the worst.
The most forgettable
biometrics. But see, looking at things like biometrics, like the ears, you know, things that don't really change. And,
I gotcha.
And you know, the smile, the way that the teeth and the smile and stuff.
Well,
like,
I imagine they're probably given the option of death or become another person, and. We'll just say that
so this actor-based reality.
Jimmy, why would you choose to become Jimmy Carter?
Jimmy Carter.
You probably didn't have a choice.
No, you're right. No, you're totally right. You're not really. When you lead that type of life, you're not given a choice on what you get to do and who you become. You're really not. So, but still, that's gotta suck, man. To go from like an idol such as JFK. To one of the worst presidents ever in history, Jimmy Carter.
Right.
Yeah, that speech, it solidified it to me that the CIA killed JFK after I heard that speech he gave. I'm sure you guys know the one I'm referencing.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't actually
Yeah.
his final speech. It was given a half dozen months before he died. But
Yeah, I think it was
It's-
even like a
it's-
year maybe before he
yeah,
died.
yeah, it might have been. And it's powerful, man. You listen to that and it's just like he's trying to say, there is, I don't know, whether you want to call it the Illuminati, the 1%, fucking the banks, whatever you want to call it. There's people fucking up shit behind the scenes. And he got killed for that. So,
I mean, I know what you mean when you say whatever you want to call it. I say the same thing in my videos, whatever you want to call it, because a secret society wouldn't be a secret society if we knew.
yeah, they don't care. They don't care what you call them. Fuck.
Right.
They don't care.
Which is
But
why
at
I
the
think they
same
throw around the
time-
word Illuminati so much, especially like in the music industry, because they're
You're-
totally making fun of us. They are totally making fun of us when they do that.
Yeah,
See,
it's like,
I'm convinced that these guys, like the Illuminati, the Skull and Bones, and any of the other ones that you know about, I am still convinced that even they are pawns.
Yeah.
what's
Me
this
too.
13 original? Sorry to interrupt, Bandit, but I actually am not familiar with that. So if you could go back
It's a
after
book.
you finish.
It's a book. It's a list the CIA put out.
Yes,
It's
it
actually-
is.
I got it in
actually have
PDF
it
file,
downloaded right now.
I'll make sure I actually share it with this episode. I have it in PDF form.
And again, I hate to keep bringing up my TikTok. I swear I'm not endorsing it,
Yeah.
but I did a little series. You know the AI filter?
Yes.
I did a video with all the 13 families with the AI filter to see what it would give me, like
So-
just their last names.
So
John,
you bring up that AI filter
we've got
thing.
the-
Not only is the AI thing doing pictures, but they are also writing screenplays and writing poetry and short stories now.
You sent us nightmares the other day, Bandit.
Yeah, we're not going to show that on our podcast, okay?
No.
And they're also, and AI is also coming up and producing porn.
Oh,
wow.
no. They're
it
also
is-
running China's court system too. Don't
It
forget that.
is
Oh, wow.
terrifying. But go read the poetry created by AI. And anyway, getting back to what I was saying about this.
Here's your 13 families.
Yeah, getting back to the Illuminati thing, the skull and crossbones or the skull and bones or whatever, any secret society that is out there in the open that you actually see, these people are still pawns.
Right.
Okay? Because the real people in power,
You don't.
you will never see, you will never know about. They could be right out in the open, which I'll bring up what Jimmy always says. There are people out there that have been, I'm convinced, I always refer to them as the powers that be.
Yeah.
There are some immortal, otherworldly characters here on Earth that have been in power for thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of years that will never be named, there'd be no pictures of them, no written history of them, you know?
Yeah.
And
Or if
there,
it is in history of them, it's legend or myth. And
No, they hide in
it's so
plain sight.
outlandish. Bro.
So I have this theory.
Yeah, go ahead. I'll let you say it.
I have this theory, and thanks. And now that I know his ex-wife watches the show, hi Jenny McCartney. I figured that it's always a good time to bring up that Jim Carrey is totally one of the elites hiding in the plain sight.
I'm down with that though, to be honest.
He's creepy enough and smart enough.
He is
Yeah.
ridiculously intelligent.
Yeah.
People don't realize how smart this man really is.
And I'm pretty
Canadian
sure his
education
family
system.
background, like I go into a lot of, if I am researching somebody or a certain topic, I usually look into their families because that tells me everything I need to know, like right away, like who they're related to. And you wouldn't believe how many, I mean, basically take like the Greek gods and that's Hollywood. Okay, like aunts and uncles and
Oh my god,
sisters
it's
and
so
brothers
incestuous
and
there. It's a
moms
fucking
and dads.
joke.
Like it's
Well,
crazy.
think
Yo,
about
the
it.
House of Hammer. I've been watching the House of Hammer. Army Hammer
Well,
and his
if you
fam
take-
were pretty fucked up people, and like that's a great example.
He's
There's
a
no
cannibal.
dude. He wants to eat his girlfriends. And
Yeah,
like
Army Hammer is a cannibal. Well,
it's
Check this out, though.
fucking
Like, no,
insane.
check this out, though. Chevy Chase is a blue blood. He can trace his family lineage straight as an arrow back to the actual founders, the first people that arrived in this country. His family lineage is a straight line straight to that.
Mhm.
Apparently, he's a huge asshole. So that's
So-
out.
Complete
This-
douchebag.
This
You know,
ties more
that like
into
10-year-old girl that put together that all the presidents were related somehow.
every one of them
Except-
except for Van Buren.
Van Buren.
Yes.
He's a piece of shit.
That cannot be true. Like you
They're
guys
all
have
related
brought
to
this
King
up.
James.
Absolutely 100% true.
That's
Absolutely.
fucked. And we call North Korea a dictatorship.
Right.
What the fuck are we
So-
living in?
So back into
We are
this
not a
actor-based
democracy.
reality thing, you can find all of the people from the Challenger crew except one alive
saw
and well
that.
to this day. And this used to be a theory I used to talk about a lot because I am into the actor-based reality big time. And one of the most interesting things that I ever found from the whole thing is,
They don't look that much older, really.
well, they're right on time for their age. Actually, if you really get into this, we'll get to some close-up pictures here. Hang on. There's then and kind of current,
Yeah.
then and kind of current. Now
Like
I've got a
10
funny
years. It
story.
seems like 10 years, maybe.
I've got a funny
Less.
story with this lady. I met somebody that has dealt directly with her because she does work at Syracuse Law University, and she hasn't been able to keep it a secret her entire life, and has told a choice few people that it's 100% true, and I'm not crazy. And
Oh. Well, I
um,
believe the actor, like what you were saying. I mean, because you can see it with some people and
This
some
guy?
actors.
Michael
There
Smith,
are a
Definitely,
dozen.
yeah.
There were a dozen studies
this guy.
by known engineers and people that were there that every single one of them survived the explosion. That the entire crew capsule was intact after the explosion. There's absolutely 100%. That's 100% fact.
Wow.
That the entire crew compartment was intact after the explosion.
Wait, hold up. So the challenge, that's the one that blew up. I kind of
Yeah.
missed.
Yeah.
So
My
Those
husband and I
people
were
are all
talking
supposed to be.
about it
Those
the other
people are all supposed to be dead.
not
Essentially.
if I
Yeah.
could, not if we could find them all.
Apparently, it
Jesus.
like exploded in midair, didn't it?
Well,
like,
now
Yeah,
see,
it
that's-
exploded
now-
in a
now
minute.
here's
I
what's- here's
forgot
what's
how
spicy.
young. I forgot how young some people still are. Yeah,
I've
it
got-
exploded.
I've got
actually
another
was
guy
not
that
alive
hangs
when that
around.
It
happened.
exploded in midair, and
I've got another guy
due
that
to
hangs
a
around the
faulty,
show.
due to a faulty seal. Due to a faulty seal, which, by the way, they warned about that weeks in advance.
Bandit,
before launch.
our show friend and missed buddy because he's been dealing with some family stuff. Kel, the guy who mixed our show opening and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He grew up in that area in the 1980s, and he'll tell you right now he doesn't remember seeing it explode because he lived where it was supposed to explode, and he's like, I don't recall that happening, anything like that from when I was a
Well,
kid.
see,
Oh,
like I said, my husband and I, we were talking about it the other night, and I looked it up, and I read that it was from that piece off the back didn't come off correctly or came off, I don't know, didn't come off at all, and that was the reason why it
and
exploded.
this is it 100% did explode. There's no doubt behind this one that 100% did explode. But they have stated numerous times that all of the crewmen, the entire crew capsule, the shuttle itself, they survived the explosion, and what quote unquote killed them was the impact on Earth afterwards.
Oh.
But no.
Nah, I'm looking at all of them right here on this website. Which of course,
No.
I'll share
That's
the
where it went.
links.
It killed them, the
Yeah,
impact.
Ooh,
But
that's
no,
Actor-
it 100% did
The
explode.
actor-based reality gets wild because you see when it gets really deep into it, it gets into
It
some interesting like cloning type
So what?
things. And I
So
know
what
you,
does that? Sorry, Jim Bob. Finish. You finish.
I know you guys have seen like the pictures of like 1800s Nicolas Cage beside like modern Nicolas Cage and stuff like that. You know, like there's even like John Travolta and stuff like that. So what it gets into, like this gets into some of the things that like B.O.B. the rapper talks about when it comes to like people cloning and stuff like that. They have a gene line, like, and
he's a big flat Earth guy, though.
He is too, sure. You know, but you there's this gene line that like we're talking about these 13 bloodlines and stuff. So one of my favorite
like
examples
like Immortal.
I think everybody here is old enough to remember original Eminem.
Yeah.
And after he had a meltdown with drugs, don't get me wrong, that's a real thing.
Yeah.
The Eminem that came back is not Eminem. The same goes for Dave Chappelle that left and went to Africa to change, you know, to.
Well, he even says now he didn't go to Africa. That never happened.
Yeah, because the real Dave Chappelle got murked and they sent out this other replacement. His own family has said that this guy that is here currently isn't Dave Chappelle. And there's a lot of different actors throughout time. Like there's this old theory, this one will blow your mind, that Britney Spears and Justin Timberlake actually got beheaded in a car accident. They ran underneath the bottom of a dump truck when they were young, like 16, 17 each. And the ones that currently exist are totally clone remakes of them. Like, and this has to go with the actor-based reality. And John, I knew you were about to ask me, what is actor-based reality? Well, actor-based reality states that a group of very rich and powerful have found ways to transfer their consciousness from one body to the next through ancient mysticism and have continued to make replicas of their bodies since Lord knows how long to keep themselves in power and such for X amount of years. And when they're done with that character or they're ready to kill off that character dies and they bring a new character. Like,
you're making me shiver.
Like Tupac Shakur is now a Kill the MC.
I mean, it sounds a lot like a video game simulation.
Well, which you know what?
Really,
I wonder, you know, the
really
Club, I wonder if the 27 Club is something like that. Like,
yes.
The list of people that have died at 27. You know,
Jimi Hendrix,
the one guy whose car
Shannon Hoon,
backed
Jim
up
Morrison,
over him.
Janis Joplin. What are we doing? The 27 Club. Kurt Cobain, Shannon Hoon, Jimi Hendrix, Jim Morrison,
Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah, and it actually started like in the 1800s, and with musicians in the 1800s, and
it's like as soon as you get too old to be Leo's girlfriend, they switch it up.
I've heard it's not like I've heard it's used as a ritual sacrifice.
I've heard that too.
Yeah.
That too.
Okay, but so
that they
Jim,
know beforehand as well.
Why are you guys so convinced with this cloning stuff? Because I don't know that I am really. What's the cloning evidence? Why? I don't think they can clone us yet. I mean, I don't know. I don't know why.
Have you ever seen the video of Conor McGregor? And what's that guy's name that's real big with the UFC that's always with Conor McGregor? He's kind of like
Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan, Dana White.
No. It's this video where... Do what?
Is it another UFC fighter or is it like a promoter?
No, he's a promoter. I'm pretty sure.
Trying to be Joe
he's
Rogan.
not a fighter. No, it's not. It's not Joe Rogan. It's just another. He's a big dude and he's bald. It's not Joe Rogan.
It's Dana White. It's got to be Dana White.
Yes, Dana White. Yes,
UFC owner.
Yeah.
Yes. But basically, it's like this interview, and Dana is like almost controlling him like a puppet.
That's what Dana does, though. I mean, shit, he's like an alpha business owner, douchebag guy. That's his.
Every single one of the UFC fighters.
He extorts those poor bastards.
Yeah, but this video is like
jump, and they ask how high.
It's like it's not like that. It's like Conor McGregor has absolutely no emotion until Dana moves his hand a certain way.
Well, There's that Bill Clinton video I actually posted. Another thing that's super hard to find. You know the one I'm talking about, where he's just
with the makeup. Yeah, where they're putting makeup on him and he's just sitting there like
it's gone. There's nothing there. There is nothing behind those eyes. Okay, sorry. Yeah, please do, Jim Bob. And let me play devil's apricot here too while you play that.
Absolutely.
If you look at a video of yourself years ago, there's different things about you.
Welcome to Vlad TV.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? I just don't know. Yeah. Why do you think Eminem? Eminem, to me, I grew up with Eminem. My stepdad took my Eminem CDs from me. He means a lot to me. I still think he's the same guy. I've never even thought that it's not the same guy.
And now he's very liberal-minded instead of.
He grew up a bit.
Well, it's not just that. It's not just aging. It's just his whole bone structure in his face. And
I was wondering if that's where you guys
and the color of his eyes even are completely
the most
different.
obvious clone of them all.
Is that right? Okay, I mean, shit. Like to me, it's
Tom
the same
Cruise.
guy. Oh, Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise.
Yeah. Oh my God! Did you see that? Have you seen that video of him like face swapping?
Dude, because his face was so puffed out. Like a year or two ago, his face was falling apart. And I saw him in the new Maverick.
Seen the one where he was on the interview talking about psychotropic drugs, and that was like totally different Tom Cruise than what we see right now. The dude was smart, sharp, and that was, after that interview, like a year or two after that interview, I think that was when he went and did the whole crazy Scientology thing and just
the Oprah interview where he's jumping around.
Yeah. Okay, so here's my biggest thing for the cloning. John, check this out.
Yeah.
What better way for the powers that be to control someone than if you get out of line, they simply take you out and they have another clone waiting to take your place.
So you gain enough popularity or influence, then they keep an eye on you. And then if you don't play by the books, if you don't play by the books, we kill you. And this clone that's going to obey us is going to take your place. Mark Brandon.
But the clones like malfunction and they.
That's just a cabbage. Like that's just a talking cabbage, dude.
I know. He's just a geriatric old man.
Yeah.
But no, like supposedly Michael Jackson's still alive, and
that interview, that guy on that interview does look suspiciously like that fucking David Letterman.
Davidson, I believe.
So it does seem okay. So they're throwing it in our face to see who notices and watch us sit here and bicker about it with not being able to change it. So like, why are they? You know what I mean? It's like they're taunting. They're taunting.
What's the point? Yeah.
Yeah. Like so, they're just like, hey.
I think maybe they're kind of waiting on us to say enough is enough. Unfortunately, and I don't want it to come to that. I have 3 kids, but
yeah,
you gotta realize
if anything's going to change. I think. At some point in time,
like society, there is a large portion of society that builds their entire personalities around like the Hollywood types. Like
they write their
and we are very dependent on the world today.
The influencers, the Hollywood elite, politicians. Famous athletes, people build their entire personalities around following these people and paying attention to them, and like feed on these rich people that don't give 2 shits whether you live or die. That's what they use that as like the whole like bread and circuses. Like here, pay attention to this. Don't pay attention to what's really going on.
Adam Levine. Oh my God. Yeah. No.
Pay attention to this rich person's Twitter feed, or pay attention to what vehicle they're driving today.
Trisha Paytas.
Pay attention to this. Don't pay attention to what really matters. Don't learn a new skill. Why don't you spend your whole day on your phone listening to what this influencer says is good for you, or this influencer says is good for you? Don't, That's what they use that for. That's the whole purpose of Hollywood, is just entertainment.
That's just 100% true.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not just Hollywood
Really
anymore. It's
think about
the media.
Everything, the music industry, everything. And if you
What
think
the
about it,
fuck?
like people our age, we have no idea how to live off the
No,
land.
not my boy. Not my boy Ron Wees.
Oh yeah.
Yo, he played that character in that one movie, Premiere.
Jonestown, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like we are
Free
so
State of
dependent
Jones.
I
on
wonder
I
if this
hope
guy
that
shot a
that
woman.
fuck isn't an immortal. Like Baldwin.
I'm not seeing that one. That
oh,
one's
the
that one's
bald ones
trash.
probably
That,
are.
that one's trash. That's pretty on
I hope
point.
Uh,
I'm down with this. If this
I'm
is
cool
true,
with
I'm down with it. Yeah,
I'm
that's
cool
cool.
with it.
He's one of the good ones. Gotta be.
No.
You guys,
I mean-
I hate to get off so short, but I got to go. I got little ones. I got to get in the bed.
You got
No.
priorities, lady.
Yeah, it's understandable. You know what I think? I thank you
Mine
for
are
joining
all-
us this evening, and I look forward to you working with
Mine
us
are
in the
already
future.
in bed.
You guys make sure that you can keep an eye out for her links on the website and reach out to her on the website and even on her TikTok. You guys, I'll make sure you guys can get back to her. So I appreciate you, Caitlin, for joining us
And
this evening. And
hopefully,
look forward to seeing
thank
you more in the
for
future.
having me. Yeah, hopefully I'll be back later this week or
Oh,
next
you will
week.
be for sure. We'll get it worked out.
Sometime.
Yeah.
It
was nice meeting you,
guys have a
Caitlin.
good night. Nice to meet you too. Bye.
Take care.
So this gets into a lot of this, like cloning.
That's
and,
funny
transfer
that you
of it and
brought
stuff.
back that brought up Zuckerberg. What Prince Philip or whatever? Wasn't that one of the most inbred fuck
Yeah.
French guys that
That's another
couldn't
thing. There's been a bunch-
couldn't function
It is
as a
proven.
human being? Jesus. That's
Uh.
I mean, like even your
That's
beloved
massive.
queen was inbred.
I mean, God bless her heart. It might have been the joint I just smoked. Let's rewind a bit. Let's just go back to the simulation thing.
No. Oh,
Weird.
man.
Weird little shit going on here. I didn't bring it up while she was on. My girlfriend's in North Carolina right now, and it's just like these little instances. She's there randomly for work, right? But I'm thinking about it now, and it's like you really only exist in your little pocket. Like it's like we're talking about Antarctica. We're talking about land beyond what we can see, and it's like, how do I even know y'all exist? Like y'all, I just met y'all online, never seen you.
I met Jimmy. I know Jimmy exists because I've met Jimmy, and I met one of the other
And went down the road
co-hosts
together.
on here. I've met Jimmy and Neptune, so
Okay.
I know they exist.
But I mean, like, where are you in relation to me? I mean, the map says you're down there, but I mean, where are you really? I'll tell you where you are. You're sitting here in my phone right now. Like that's where you are. And so that's all I can say about it or prove, really.
Absolutely.
It's a half-baked thought. But like, anyways, these little coincidences that get dripped along our life, it's either purely chaotic, which is freeing, but if it's not that, then there's something going on. There's a plan. Or a sick joke. I don't know which one it is.
Have you ever heard of this is another one that I like to buy into and I talk about a lot, is called spaceship theory. My best reference to show people, because I like to reference movies and TV show, is
I
an
do
episode
like
of-
this. I really do like this
is an
theory.
episode of Orville.
Yeah.
So, and what it is that we are either at the bottom of the sea, lost in space. Lord really knows the truth on that part. But we're inside of a giant advanced
Containment chamber.
chamber.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And like history's been just lost and pushed down for so many years that we don't realize we're in this giant floating containment chamber wherever it is. And this episode of the Orville showed that, like these people that had basically gone, like time just got so far and then it kind of reset itself and people were more primitive. And that when they figured out they were in a spaceship, it caused for like the people that were in charge pulling the strings to lose all their power and stuff because they weren't these all powerful knowing beings that they claimed to be and such, because they were a small speck, just floating lost in space. and it's season 1, like episode 4 of the Orville. I'll make sure I find a link.
What's this show called? The
It's called the
Orville?
Orville. It's Seth MacFarlane's take on Star Trek, so it's very comical.
Oh, okay.
Oh yes,
Okay, cool,
I've
cool,
seen that.
cool,
That's
cool.
a good show, man.
It's
very-
probably funny.
It's very comical, but it like they do cover some interesting things, and I believe they show bits and pieces of the truth in works of fiction, like The Simpsons, for example, or other movies and stuff.
Social
like
conditioning.
social conditioning. So
Think about all the movies about how the world's overpopulated and how, like, just even Thanos.
That's predictive programming.
Sorry, that's it. That's the phrase I meant. Predictive programming.
Yeah.
I'll just say a lot of movies coming out lately where the main theme is like, we need to wipe out a bunch of people. That's all I'll say.
Hence why I'm convinced that we're on the precipice of nuclear conflict.
Oh yeah, I mean, China's going into Taiwan within, the
month.
year.
A month.
Yeah, a month sounds about right. And then from there, fuck, man, I don't know.
Look at the amount of conscriptions we've got with Russia and what's going on with Ukraine and the Nord Stream pipeline. And
Oh wait, Bandit, let me stop you though. Adam Levine cheated on his wife though. So we should probably talk about that for an hour.
And not only that, but named his child after his mistress.
That is pretty fucked up. I will say that.
I will say, in some twisted way, that is a pretty Chad move. But he's a piece of shit. He is.
Fuck,
man.
baby.
Orville.
Might have to hit that ass.
And the one I'm
might
talking
have
about-
to see the booty.
The one I was talking about, the episode is called "If the Stars Should Appear," and it very like they go back to this.
What channel is this show on?
I believe it's
FX or some shit.
I believe it's on FX.
Yeah, okay, that checks out.
And like what they end up doing is, I think it ends up being a 2-parter, and it ends up showing like they find like the control room of this ancient ship or whatever, and end up like outing the them that are in charge by turning off the fake sun and revealing the space that's out there, beyond their realm of
The
knowing.
Truman Show.
The Truman Show.
Yeah, I mean, it's the fucking Truman show all over, man.
Yeah. And I mean, like, that goes back into my Jim Carrey theory. He was telling us the truth.
Yes, it does. It does. Jim's out there.
And then number 23.
He's told us the truth.
I'm gonna
in so
get
many
baked
movies.
after this and watch that movie. I'm gonna live stream me watching 23 tonight. That's what I'm doing after
That
this,
is
boys.
amazing. That is such
Yeah, it's been a
amazing
minute.
movie.
It's been a minute. I want to get creeped out.
I will have
But
to turn my
I
computer on
really-
and give you the view just for that, just
Yeah.
on my computer, even after I go to bed.
So when talking about this, it's like I mean, I have a really hard time. I would be more apt to wrap my head around like the whole spaceship theory than like that we're all totally encapsulated in like the like a simulation.
The Truman Show.
I mean, but isn't it the same thing? Really? I mean, because like I'm open.
really.
I know it sounds like I'm
sealed
talking
up in a
video game.
container. It's like we're living in a terrarium basically.
We exist. Our bodies exist, but our minds, like, we're not just simulated code, is what you're saying.
We are a computer driving a skeleton meat suit.
That's right.
But it's like I really have a hard time like wrapping myself around like that we're living in the Matrix. That this is all a simulation.
Yeah, it's a new
It's
thing
one
for
of
me.
those
I say
ones
it
that-
jokingly, but I
There are
find
bits and
myself.
pieces that make sense to that. There are pieces that make sense to that, but it as a whole, I really have a hard time grasping that.
Well, Bandit, it would be too convenient. This ain't no simulation. This is real life, and our choices matter, and our decisions matter. And I'll be honest, that's sometimes on those
Real
dark days.
extent.
Well, yeah. And I mean, but having said that, I just try and wrap my head around. It's that constant battle of like, okay, that all could be true, but that doesn't excuse me from having to be a man and live life and provide and do the things you need to do. And
A lot of
that's
people
it.
use that as a cop out.
That's
Like,
it.
you use
That's it.
Cop out on life.
You got to keep playing.
Hey, Jimmy, we know some people who use that as a cop
like
out.
that.
The nihilists.
Yeah, that'll use it as a cop out on life. Like, this is all a simulation. This isn't real, so I'm going to
So they
use it
give
as a
up,
cop out
and it's
on
just
life.
disparity
Sure.
and bleakness. And
I do
everything's
not
just
want to
so
rep
bad.
that message. Yeah, fuck that shit.
No.
If
Fuck
if
that.
it is, I'm going to live the best I can regardless, and that's it. So,
That's right.
you know.
I would wrap. I would believe. I would believe in like flat Earth, hollow Earth, even the snow globe one.
Sure.
You know,
We could be in a fucking
wondering
raindrop
about this
on
stuff.
yeah.
I like wondering about this stuff and coming with these cool, interesting, weird topics every day. Why? Because disparity kills more people than anything else across this planet. More
yeah.
people die
I like that.
in
I really like that.
despair. It does, though. Think about that. Like, more people
Yeah, man.
die because they are fearing something, or they're doomed, or they're just in depression and despair, and
They feel they got no choice.
you know,
Yeah.
not to sound sexist or anything, but we as men have the higher rate of suicide across the board.
That's not sexist, my friend. That's just
It's the
facts.
truth.
That's
I know.
statistical.
But
That's just
have,
stats.
but we have the highest rate of suicide across the board, and like people overlook suicide over the top of everything else. And I think
I had 2 friends in the last month kill themselves. Both
I've had them
good,
happen in my life too, man. It's fucking
both
it's god
good.
awful.
both good looking, successful, with a woman, with this job. Does not matter. Does not matter. Anyway, sorry to darken it, but I mean, man, that's and they were both obviously married.
Wouldn't you rather come here every day, every other day, and talk about something fun and exciting and different, regardless of what Lord knows what the topic is, than sit around and point at a dark cloud in the sky and be like, if we don't look at it and stare at it, well, how are we going to fix it? And, just end up in a constant state of depression and disparity because, the World Economic Forum is going to make us eat bugs and live in pods if we don't pay attention to that. I'm like,
they
what?
are.
No, the fuck they are. Not me.
Not you. That's good, Jim Bob. They got one of the cricket plants like an hour down the road from where I live.
But see, me and Bandit have figured it out. There are people that are going to refuse to unplug from the system, and sure, that's their future. And then there's people like me and Bandit that are going to be living on the outside. It's literally going to be the Jetsons and the Flintstones. It's literally going to be the Jetsons and the Flintstones.
Jim Bob, remind me. I kind of dig that. Remind me. Okay, you got to meet my boy who reached out to me on TikTok. Actually, before you did, his name's World News Debate, and he's just a Canadian lad from up a little north than me. Yeah. He might be someone you want to talk to, but he's a survivalist. He's a survivalist. He's got his little kit packs. He's got like his, man, I got to introduce you. I'll hook that up tomorrow.
That sounds right up our alley.
Yeah, man, he's a good dude.
We'll get him on with ammo can.
That's dude's 110%, and he does videos on how to prepare, how to distill your water, all this sort of stuff, right? So
beautiful.
I've been learning a thing or two from him. So I said we should get drunk sometime and go in the woods. He's like, yeah, let's meet each other first. I'm like, yeah, that's smart.
But I mean, I really do think that, it is going to be a lot like the Jetsons and the
something Jimmy and I did already twice. Hey, let's grab some drink and go on a canoe trip.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
hey, if it turns into Deliverance, then that's just the way the simulation is going.
No, listen, I had a poor buddy coming. This poor guy, he got sloshed real quick and fell asleep in his fucking float, and we got way ahead of him. And like 30 minutes later, when he got caught up to us, he was as fucking red as a lobster, and I had to run out there and pull him up into shore because he was passed out cold, floating down the river, drunk as piss.
But we had gone like this river is probably like somewhat well traveled, but the woods on either side Not
so much.
Well, it's national
A little
forest.
bit of Heart of Darkness.
So
yeah.
where is
the
this?
heart
Sorry,
of
is
a
this like-
national forest.
Where is this? Which state?
It's in Georgia.
Yeah.
And
okay.
it's called the Okmulgee River, and it is the stretch that I float, which we only did like 8 miles of the float, but the stretch that I float,
That's a good float.
well, yeah, the stretch that I float actually has 18 miles from one dam to the next.
Nice.
But we don't, there's different sections, and we went down the smooth section, which really doesn't have any rapids or anything like that. It's just a
Thank God for your buddy.
flat float to go out there and get drunk. You know what I mean? Like,
Well,
that's
the
what
water
that
was
for.
so low. There was a lot of shit that we had to dodge.
Sure.
Oh shit.
And the only good thing about that
you had to
was
bump your
the
ride.
berms were sandbars were like dry to
Yeah.
where we could stop intermittently and take a break.
Yeah,
Oh, nice.
that sun was beating our ass. It was 100 degrees that day.
You passed
old
areas
Georgia.
you had passed areas where like people had come out of the woods to make a fire in a campsite on the sandbars, and there was no evidence that they had come by water.
Oh.
Well, again, this is beside the
That's the
this
forest
river
people.
runs through the heart.
Yeah,
This
that's what
river
I'm
runs
saying.
through the heart of the Piedmont Oconee National Forests.
What about
So-
giant?
Oh,
Sorry. I
Bigfoot,
fucking
bro.
totally interrupted
Bigfoot.
you there, but I just thought of that story in Kandahar of the soldiers fighting the fucking giant. I hope you know what I'm talking about.
Bandit
yeah,
knows
dude.
all about that.
Yeah, dude.
No,
That's
there
fucking-
are videos on TikTok of you know what the mark of a giant is on a baby, right? 6 toes on each foot, right?
Correct.
Ah.
There's some 6-toed
I
babies.
know some guy. I
TikTok.
fucking know some guy with 6 toes.
Giants, like you think it's not like Jack and the Beanstalk giants. We're
No, they're
talking
just like they're double us. It's like a 12-foot man.
9, 10, 11, 12 feet
Bigfoot.
tall.
Yeah.
No, I mean, there are skeletons that have been unearthed
Yeah.
that match that. And what was the I keep forgetting, like we bring this up constantly, and it's not the Smithsonian, is it?
Yeah, they
They'll
destroyed
all
evidence.
come out- Yeah, they'll come out and destroy evidence all the time. Like, have you not seen any of like the ancient temples and stuff like that where there's these gigantic doors and steps and
Tools.
areas, like especially if you've
Books.
seen some of the
No shit.
the old thrones that people sat on thousands of years ago. These thrones were like huge compared to like regular people.
Well,
Uh,
and the giants of Solomon Island, that's one thing that I love to bring up on
Yeah.
constant. And the thing about the giants in Solomon Island is that they have that red hair trait, and that red hair trait seems
Yeah.
to be quite
Red
thick
hair.
on their body as well too. So that's why I always go to, I think Bigfoots are somewhere along the lines of the same giant.
There was evidence of that here in the United States, the red-headed giants, and
In
there's
every
stories.
native nation,
yes,
every
there's-
native
Yeah.
nation in America and in Canada, there
some
is
of them-
red-haired giants.
Some of the stories haven't been written down. They've been passed by word of mouth from generation to generation, because that's how a lot of the Native Americans passed along their history, was by word of mouth.
100%.
And there are lots of cases where people were telling these stories where they would talk about like the red-headed giants here in North America.
So giants are real. What the
Yeah.
fuck does that mean? You know what I mean? Like, I guess that's just like, there's just other shit out there that we are not.
Giants
And,
are real,
and it
mermaids
also
are real.
means, no, those were just, what are those fat walrus things? Manatees.
No.
Those are just
No.
manatees, bro.
No.
Christopher Columbus was so horny.
No.
He's just,
Mermaids really existed.
I'm making a joke there, but what I was going
Yeah.
to say is like, I guess that means there's still places to hide on this earth,
Yeah,
I guess.
we don't know
Which
anything
is-
about this earth.
which is good. I think
So-
that's good. I think that's a good thing. So I don't know.
There are areas of the Amazon rainforest that are just now coming into view after having not been viewed for tens of thousands of years because of deforestation.
Sure.
I'm not preaching like deforestation is a thing that happens, but they're also, I don't want to talk green.
Yeah, seaweed's
there are
where we got
there-
trees don't
there are
matter as
entire-
much as seaweed.
Yeah, there are entire civilizations that are coming into view from deforestation in the Amazon rainforest that haven't been viewed, that haven't been seen, or even they didn't even know they were there. You know, so there are places that we haven't. Especially, there's areas up in northern Canada that are uninhabitable.
I was going to say.
And there are areas in Greenland that we haven't seen. Areas
we haven't seen in this lifetime. They might have been habitable in some other lifetime when pole shift, in the last pole shift.
And that's it right there. You fucking nailed it, man. It's like climate change is not climate change. It's a climate shift. And no, it's a climate shift. Because if you look at, the poles are shifting at a rate of like
2 feet a year.
75 to 80 miles a year towards Russia right now.
Yep.
Towards Siberia. North Pole is shifting towards Siberia at 80 miles a year.
Shit, they're trying to steal that from us too. So I guess it's going to be easier.
Putin signed a decree that the North Pole will end up in Siberia. They're predicting as early as August of next year, the poles will flip.
Shit's about to hit the fan, right? You guys feel it, right? Like shit is about to fucking hit the fan, man.
But it happens though naturally every few thousand years, and we're doing one. How do you explain like these thousands of years where these disasters would happen and completely change the face of the earth?
Yeah.
Even the ones we know about, like Pompeii.
Yeah, even the ones we know about, even the ones where they haven't rewritten history over top about it. You know.
You guys know about the year without a summer?
Yeah, that was in 700 or something, wasn't it? 753 or 763?
It was sooner. 1816.
To what you were saying there, I'll just add, like, I agree. I mean, shit. I think a more fair statement would be like, we're giving ourselves cancer and shit with the stuff we eat and plastics. Sure. And fucking our environment and our environment that way.
Not on here about the microplastics.
He wouldn't like, well, I mean, microplastics are a very, very bad thing from what I know, from my layman's understanding. And so, like, no, I don't think we're affecting the climate as much as they say we are.
This much.
But having
said
said that, our level of pollution is appalling. We are a cancer to the world. Like, I'm sure if Mother Earth was like, if someone could ask the Earth, like, what's a human? She would say it's a tumor. And I mean, that's a little.
You're right,
bad.
But she will always succeed and reset when she needs it. When needs to.
I think we're at the whims of her. Like she will own us when she needs to. So it's like we can't do fuck all to her. Really,
this planet, whatever.
Look at fucking Fiona. Look at Ian right now. They're just running rampant. Like they're doing what they want.
Look. I mean, this planet, whatever shape it is, will continue to spin for 5 billion years.
Yeah.
We have caused, I mean, look at the natural disasters in the past. How were those caused? Oh, sure shit was the fucking carbon pollution. You know, all of these natural disasters in the past were much worse than anything we've seen lately.
Well, the dinosaurs were notorious gas guzzlers.
Yeah. Oh my God. Speaking of that, have you seen lately how many reports are coming out? Like more than I've seen ever, like talking about how the crude oil supply regenerates itself every 4 years and we're never going to run out.
I thought it was dinosaur bones. You mentioned this earlier, and I wasn't sure what you were talking about, to be honest.
It's
not fossil fuels. What is it? So what's oil?
It's created in the Earth's. I can't remember where exactly they say. It's created under the crust in such a way that it replenishes itself. It's like the lubrication of whatever is underneath.
Oh.
You know what I mean? It replenishes itself every 4 years. We are never going
to replenishing itself. No shit.
We are never going to run out. And I think we are seeing an emergence of these. There was even one that was more recent than that, done by a notable Australian scientist. We are seeing the emergence of these things, and we're going to see more of them because they are trying to combat green energy.
Shit.
We're going to see a lot.
The truth, and this was posted a month ago. The truth about
Yeah, I
oil, it
think that's
regenerates
what I'm
within the earth faster.
Yo, can you send me this? Can you make sure you send me this link?
Of course,
I gotta
and
do
of
something
course,
about
everybody out
this.
there
This is
listening and watching, you
fucking
guys know I'll
crazy.
also have the links inside the episode because I make sure you guys can double check this information for yourself. Because please don't
That's
take my
wild,
word
man.
for it. I'm just some crazy
That's
guy on the internet with a
fucking
pirate hat.
Infuriating, man. How is that fucking real?
Hey.
If that's fucking true, like straight up, I want to punch all my teachers in the face. Like, I guess it's not their fault. That's why they got
Rockefeller and Carnegie knew that when 100 years ago.
Yep.
We should be paying nothing for it then. Fucking cunts. Sorry.
I like the way you think, sir.
Are you?
No. Yo,
Keep that in mind.
Bob, I interrupted you on your day, the year with no summer. Tell me about that. I want to know about
The
that.
year with no summer in 1861, that there was like just natural disaster type things that had been going on with a bizarre thing that happened, and it caused widespread crop failures and such because the temperature would not get above 38 degrees. And it is said that it was because of an enormous volcano that had blown up in the Indian Ocean a year earlier.
Blacked out the sky.
And blacked out the upper atmosphere.
Yep.
With ash clouds. So it erupted in April of 1815 and shrouded the globe by 1816. So there was not a normal summer for that year, and it caused a lot of hysteria and a lot of death and such.
Yeah, was this the same year where it was 6 months of darkness that most of the world experienced?
Correct.
Okay.
No shit.
Yeah, maybe that's what I was thinking about when I thought it was.
Because it was a super volcano, like me and you keep hoping blows up in Yellowstone every day. I pray to the super volcano in Yellowstone every day and hope that it, wipes us out.
I'm like, yo, hang on just another 50 years or so.
See, that's what I like to bring up. I'm like, look at years past. What caused the flooding? What caused the abnormal winters, the flooding, the rainfall, the tropical storms of 200 years past? Or 100 years past or 200 years past? What caused that? What caused all the droughts 200 years ago? What caused that? It sure as shit wasn't the carbon pollution that we're experiencing now. Yeah, I know this, but I use that as my argument to these people that want to crush us with this green bullshit,
Bandit, I'm not. They do that. They're hopeless people that want to have a cause, and so they make that their cause. That's the way I try and look at everyone now. And so
somebody that has no personality, so they wrap their personality around something like that.
Sure. Yeah. I mean,
they do. Yeah. Like the whole COVID thing. People wrapped their entire personality around wearing a mask.
Oh, you don't care about this? You're a terrible person then. I fucking hate you. I hope your mom dies.
So they have no substance to themselves.
Like grandma.
So you want to kill grandma by coughing on her. They have to find something of substance to wrap their personality around, so it makes them feel better as a person because there's nothing to them. You know what I mean? It's it's with people that totally do nothing but speak about the World Economic Forum, Klaus Schwab being the boogeyman. You're going to live in pods and you're going to eat the bugs. They have no personality, so they wrap their entire personality around something like that. The same way with
politics, brother. Working in politics, it's a team sport.
Liberals being a left or right.
Yeah, conservatives say one thing, liberals say the other. And neither of them believe everything they say. They just know they're supposed to say it, my friends. There's a script. That's it.
Exactly.
I wrote the script. I wrote some. Here, I'll give you guys a good one.
I forgot you work in politics.
10 years, brother. I've met both prime ministers. I I wrote
Including
in.
Castro Jr.
Yes, Trudeau came up to me and said I had a sick Mo bro during November when I met him. He wasn't prime minister yet. This was 10 years ago. He had like a weird little French mustache. Anyways, beside the point.
Oui, monsieur.
Can I
Wait,
touch?
you
Can
sure
I
you
take
didn't
my
meet blackface Trudeau?
No, I was just a little before. He did that a little bit before.
Darn.
Funny, eh? It's funny how that worked out. Like if I always said, if a conservative would have done that, they literally would have killed him. But fucking, it was Trudeau. So they're like, nah, that's just our boy Justin. He's not racist. If you did it, it would be racist. But it's not racist that Justin does it. What the fuck was I saying? Oh, I wrote. So there's this whiskey up here. It's called 40 Creek. Pretty nice. Pretty nice on ice, fellas. I'll just throw it out there. And on the bottle, you pulled this up another time. Like, I don't know. It's too convenient.
Oh, no.
He's his scumbag father's son. Like I knew his father. I actually kind of dug his father when he sent the tanks into Quebec, which was badass. I'm down with that. We should do it again. But regardless,
It is Quebec.
I mean, it's fucking France, the shitty France. It says this on the 40 Creek bottle. We are not so much bound by tradition as we are inspired by it. I wrote that into one of my boss's speeches he said in the House. And I'm pretty sure it's in the Hansard forever. I'll try and find that for you tomorrow. So yeah, that's just a little sprinkle of my legacy I left on Parliament Hill. The whiskey bottle slogan into my boss's speech. Yeah, nice. There's the 40. Oh, that's the premium bottle right there. That's the good. There's more normal bottle, but it's, same slogan's probably on it. It's a good slogan, right? We are not so much bound by tradition as we are inspired by it. You could write that into pretty much any political speech. Yeah. But yeah, boys, she's all scripted. You get an email in the morning.
Oh, they are
from the party. You don't work for the people. You work for the party that you represent. So the party sends you a script that morning. Here's what's in the news. Here's what you're allowed to say about it. And I'm sure we got that from our big brother America. So you guys do that too. Guarantee it.
Hey, that sounds like you worked for the police bureau.
that's Operation Mockingbird to a T. Like that's exactly what
sounds
that is.
That sounds like you worked for the Polito Bureau, eh, comrade?
I mean, that's just politics now. Sadly, across the world.
No, I believe it.
There's no free thought. There's no one writing great speeches anymore about people. Like those are all done. It's all done. It's just a fucking game. It's just a little status quo we have now.
So, and we had a thing go on here called Operation Mockingbird, which the CIA used celebrities, politicians, and the news media, and they did exactly what you just said and sent out scripts for them to read off of every single day. And they got busted in the 70s.
You're shitting me.
No, they got busted for the 70s, and they got busted in the 70s for doing it. And there's no information about it ever stopping. They just got busted in the 70s for doing it, and that's
They're like, yeah, we're doing this. Yeah,
and there's literally like there's guys that are on the CIA. You can look this up. I even sent a video to Bandit about this the other day. There's a lot of celebrities that are on the CIA and FBI's payroll. I'm talking even ones in the past like Whitney Houston, Jimi Hendrix.
No shit.
Yeah.
Ellen
DeGeneres and a whole bunch of other ones. Yeah.
Maybe he was FBI.
Dude, like there's a lot of them that were like either they claimed informants or they just flat out worked for them, and it's a common thing when you start seeing the news, like your news station, my news station, and Bandit's news station, three opposite corners. I guarantee is going to talk about one of the same subjects, almost identical to because of that script that you just said right there.
It's scary. John Oliver's show does it well, actually.
He's CIA too.
Probably. His show does do it well, though, where he shows the newscasters all saying the exact same fucking thing across America.
Yep.
It's not even like funny. It's just like, this is not news. This is, yeah, man. That's it. It's controlled communication. It is We set the script. We say how it is. Hey, that was a fucking plane that flew into the Pentagon under the wires and stuff. And, you know, it's definitely a plane.
89 cameras missed it.
Yeah.
No, they didn't miss
right.
it. They saw the
break.
missile hit it. They saw the missile hit. They just haven't released that.
Neptune points out that there was a ship armed with Tomahawk missiles in the Bay of New York the day that, or in the Bay of DC the day that happened.
I've seen the video.
Shocker.
I've seen a video of multiple videos, 2 videos, in fact, of the cruise missile hitting the Pentagon.
It's got to be. It's a missile. It's not a plane that hit it.
There's no evidence of a plane.
No.
And the same with the plane that went down, the Flight 93 that went down in Pennsylvania.
No evidence of a plane.
No wreckage.
Have you ever seen a plane wreckage? There's huge chunks of plane everywhere.
Yeah. And they showed a few tiny bits and pieces of the planes that hit the Twin Towers, and it was a flying object, but it was not a plane.
I mean,
okay, well, and I'm going to back you up real quick, because you know what? If a bird does this to a plane, then it sure as fuck ain't taking down a plane.
Holy fuck. Yeah, man. Think about that. Is that real?
Yes.
Yeah,
that's what happens if a bird
strike
hits the nose of a plane.
Fuck off.
Yep. And we have actual somebody that works in the aviation industry that has said that CIA has remote controlled fucking airliners.
Yep.
Well, that's one I remember, is that the windows weren't right on that shit and all that. It was probably just an empty. It was just a drone, probably. And,
Yep.
and then what did the real damage was all the bombs and the fucking
the
controlled demolition.
Yeah, especially with the pancaking as it was free falling, and then the
fact it was designed to withstand a plane hitting it. It was literally designed to withstand that. Like, it was.
And let's talk about the B-29 hitting the Empire State Building.
Oh, did that fall? Did that fall? No, it didn't. No.
And let's talk about, like, let's mention that, you know, the police officers and the firemen that were there initially that heard the explosions in the reception, right when you walk into the building on the first floor, the explosions.
The janitor from Tower 7 who died mysteriously in a car crash after he did loose change. Yeah, I know that guy too.
The voicemails of the people that were supposedly on those 2 flights, the voicemails that they had back to their family members, they weren't freaking out. They weren't
pretty
panicked.
chill. They were pretty chill about it.
Hey,
although that could be like a defense mechanism. Like, Bandit, I could see you being the kind of guy, just based on our limited interaction, but straight up, you'd be pretty chill in a situation like that, I feel like. So I don't know, like, that necessarily, to me, I don't know. Fuck it. I don't know why I'm picking that hill to die on, but I could see you reacting that way. You know, some people react, they kind of like go into shock, and you just kind of like, this is happening.
Of those voicemails that were all the same, though.
True. Yeah, there's not that many calm and composed people on a flight. Fuck, you see the flights these days. I'm like literally scared to go on a plane because I see the fights breaking out on planes so often.
Yeah,
man. People be losing their shit.
Wants to fly. Nobody wants to fly.
But see, like, that's why we do this here, and we do this so raw and unscripted, and just let the conversation go wherever we want it to go. You know, like backpedaling a little bit, because like I'm definitely, you know, not here for scripted stuff. I think these raw conversations get further in life than those ones that are pre-planned out, including like the ones about 9/11, because there's even video evidence of BBC reporting of Building 7 falling
before it did fall.
Hours before it fell.
Just the other day,
hours before it fell.
So 30 minutes.
So
it was that someone jumped the gun. They had the queued up story there beside an injured Arab woman, and then they shot that one out a little too soon.
Yeah, that was wild, dude.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Can I ask you guys this? Let's switch to a modern day. What's going on in Utah? You guys know what I'm talking about? Bobby, look this up. Sheriff Predator Ring, Utah. Real weird shit going on there. I just saw this today. Sorry, boys. I'm just going to the garage to find a cigarette.
Sheriff Predator ring.
Yeah, I can look in. If I got to, I'll look into it and send you the link.
I'm looking.
It was a TikTok video I saw, but it's like the DA essentially came out. The sheriff said, "Oh, we're investigating something."
Utah
It was either
prosecutor.
Yeah,
calls for probe into sheriff.
Yeah. So the
sheriff.
prosecutor held a press conference and like self-reported on himself, being like, I'm not a part of this. I'm not this and that. And they're like, well, we didn't say you were. We weren't investigating that, but we will now. And like, I guess there's some history there. There's some weird shit going on in Utah right now.
Yeah, no, I found it right here where it was brought up because he was brought up on
cannibalism again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cannibalism of young children and ritualistic sex ring, and apparently the dude lost his shit when he was asked about it. Like instead of
he self-reported. He was like,
instead of interacting with the thing, he basically threw himself under the bus.
Yep.
Don't worry, the police will investigate themselves and find no wrongdoing.
Right. I forgot about that. Yeah, you're right. They're probably good.
That's the thing. Like, people, especially those folks over on that Q side of the world, they're always just like, oh, Trump and the FBI is working to rid the world of pedos. And I'm like, what crack pipe are you smoking from, bud?
No, they didn't.
I want some.
Sorry, Trump was on Epstein.
Trump met his wife through Ghislaine Maxwell.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
And the fact that
at least he
wanted to sleep with his own daughter.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
Ugh. Run the Jewels has one of the best lines ever about that.
What did you say? Run the Jewels?
Yeah, Run the Jewels. They say there's like something like
that's
Trump
a pretty good.
I
think that's a pretty good group, man. I've heard some of this stuff.
Yo, Big Mike ran for mayor of Atlanta. I actually love that guy. I love the fact that I got elected. We aren't ready for that yet. Not yet. Still need the puppets. For some reason, people feel safer voting for a puppet. Like,
oh, dude. That's how it's always going to be, though. But hear me out, okay? I think that will all come to an end when the entire fucking boomer generation dies off.
Yeah, it's time. I love you, Ma. I love you, Dad. Not so much Dad, but definitely.
And
I mean, at least retire. So there's
finally rid the world. We will finally be able to rid the world of putting carpet and linoleum over hardwood floors.
Those bastards.
It's just not practical. It's just not practical.
And we're not even talking about one layer of linoleum. We're talking like 7 layers of linoleum over a fucking hardwood floor.
And then they just wanted to go over top of that linoleum.
And then they painted over the wallpaper.
Is there lead in the linoleum? Because I hope there's lots of lead.
That's what it is, man. They had so much exposure to lead. They're just fucking
just fucking rotted from lead.
They are all fucking lead poison. And that's what you can blame on. That's what you can blame a lot of their totally erratic behavior on is lead poisoning.
Their financial decisions.
Oh my God! Now
they literally took the most amount of wealth ever created in like humankind and fucking left us with what we have right now.
Left us with nothing.
Less than nothing. They left us debt, my dog. It's worse than nothing.
They voted. They voted to constantly lower their taxes and only care about their fucking retirements, pensions, Social Security, Medicaid, Medicare. And they didn't give a shit because they didn't have fucking credit scores when they were buying houses and cars. First off, they didn't have credit scores.
Oh my God, that'd be nice.
Dude, credit scores were created in the 80s.
1971. When we went off the gold standard.
1989 is when the credit score was created.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. But
you're thinking of the gold standard.
Well, no, but I just saw a video today about it. If you look at everything, debt, obesity, everything spikes in 71. Everything starts there. It's all fucked.
What happened in 1971?
We went off the gold standard.
Do you know?
Yeah, that's what we did. Yeah.
But I blame boomers for all of the financial troubles for
That's completely fair. That's completely fair. I mean,
they still have the mentality of go fill out a paper job application,
Go
get yourself
work.
a good suit.
Yeah.
Motherfucker, 90% of jobs have abolished suits in the workplace. Okay? Paper application stopped being, almost 90% have abolished suits in the workplace.
You can't afford life on most jobs now. You can't afford life.
Yeah, and the whole mentality of your life needs to revolve around hard fucking work.
Bullshit. You're not meant to live as a hamster in a little cubicle. That's not how humans were meant to live. That's why we're all diabetic fat fucks. We're
not all like that. We're not all like that.
No, I fight it too. But you know what I mean? Like it's not how a human was meant to live. Liver King is a maniac psycho, but that guy was probably closer to how a human is supposed to live than fucking some guy in the office.
That motherfucker is on so many steroids.
He's juicing hard, okay? He's juicing hard.
And people are calling him out on TikTok for that bullshit. People are calling him out on TikTok, man. Like the natural fucking bodybuilders and barbarians are calling Liver King out on fucking TikTok, and it's
the dude obviously comes from immense wealth. I don't know what his story is, but he's got this huge ranch. Like, what is his life? I saw a video.
That's all he does. That's all he does is peddle. He peddles his supplements. That's all he does. He's like Alex Jones.
Bill Hicks.
I got Alpha Brain
Bill
here.
Hicks.
I've got Alpha Brain. My body looks like a fucking.
My body looks like the 64-year-old man that it is instead of the one that he claims.
Well, but you know the one I'm talking about, the before and after. Look up the before and after pic of Alex Jones, and just the only difference is that he's a little redder in the pic after. I just have always found it one of the best fucking ads I've ever seen for a supplement, because it's like the exact same picture.
It's like he took a shitload of niacin to detox, man. Remember that?
Wait, what? Bill Hicks is Alex Jones? What?
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, shit. I mean, I kind of though.
Or was Alex Jones Bill Hicks?
But like my Nana looks just like the Queen. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Sometimes people we kind of all age. Eventually, an old white woman looks like the Queen.
You should actually look into the Bill Hicks thing, because there's like Bill Hicks and Alex Jones.
Who was Bill Hicks?
He was a comedian that literally has the same manager as Alex Jones today.
No shit.
And he used to do comedian stand-up about the same things that Alex Jones talks about today.
It's going to be the greatest trick ever pulled.
And then he magically died, and then they try to claim that Alex Jones is in his 40s.
Fuck off.
Exactly. He's clearly not in his 40s, which would put him closer to the same age that Bill Hicks would be if he didn't mysteriously die.
That's why he said 64-year-old man. Okay.
Yep. Because he looks like a 64-year-old man. Like,
listen, people. Listen.
the chemicals in the air are turning the bees gay.
The frogs. And the frogs gay. Yeah. He used to do work with Richard Linklater, for Christ's sakes. He was hanging out with libs for that's why I think he's a sellout. Like,
William Cooper. I don't know if you've ever heard of him, the guy who wrote the Behold the Pale Horse. He's a big conspiracy guy.
Oh,
that is an amazing book.
He actually him and Alex Jones didn't get along so much to the point that Alex refused to have him on his show, and William Cooper used to drag him on his show, talking about how much of a fake he is and a sensationalist, and that he's just there to be the one that kind of like a controlled opposition that makes conspiracy theorists look like nut jobs.
Yeah. Oh, he's doing a good job of that.
And again, what we've been saying this episode, people will wrap their entire personalities up into InfoWars and Alex Jones and put him on a pedestal and say, if whatever this guy says is the truth and the only truth you need to listen to.
Yep. Oh, I get the backlash I get on posts I make about Alex Jones. Him and Andrew Tate, those two fucks, their little fans just cannot. I get the most backlash from those vids.
Yeah,
Me too. It's okay.
it's okay.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Sure, have they both
it.
said? Sure, have both those people you just stated said some absolutely true, fantastic things?
Yes.
Sure.
But a broke clock's twice a day too.
Dude, yeah, that's it. It's it. They're both shilling. They're both fucking active members in the system they claim to fucking hate. So fuck them. They're hypocrites.
That's right.
That's it.
Right?
That's right. That's right.
There it is.
So, and I mean, you know, shit, Alex Jones actually refused our show and said we were too extreme for his liking. So we applied to be on InfoWars, and that was the response we got. So, I mean, hey, I'm fine with that.
Jones, hey, Alex, I'm waiting for my call, bud. Let's go. Yeah.
Bring me and John on together. We'll tell you some good things, bud.
Now, that'd be an interesting one, man. Interesting one.
I don't know, man. I kind of like the small, off the beaten path. Like people we get up in this show. It's just like I think that when you get to a point like he has, you have no choice but to sell out and become controlled opposition, because that's the only way you get to that point. True. I hate to say it, Joe Rogan's in the same boat too.
Joe Rogan used to be a lot more of a truther, and then
before he became popular,
he didn't have a side. Popular. It's all about, as soon as they pick a side, they lose all credibility.
Yeah,
and that's what both those guys did. That's what both those guys did.
Like I think
that's it.
The left, right, and the libertarians are a joke.
Mm-hmm. Nothing changes. The money's all coming from the same place, my friends.
That's right.
So liberal, Republican, fucking, it don't matter. It really don't matter.
That's why it's a big focus around here to try and find, just alternative systems all the way around. Luis is
pirate life, my friend. It's the pirate life.
That's right.
That's what we're doing out here.
The black market will always thrive, and Luis is very good about showing us a lot of things that are being built by everyday people like you and me and Bandit that are trying to make an alternative system, because Rome will fall, and when Rome falls, it would be better if we have our own little built safety net.
Don't say it's not like the country as a whole will fall.
No,
the controlling system will fall.
Yes, and everything will balkanize, and we'll all have our cool, awesome little tribes.
Yeah, the people will continue, because people have always continued. The governing body may fall, but the people will continue. The USA, the United States, this whole area will continue, might just not look the same, but the governing body will fall.
That's right. No,
we will always continue.
If it's one thing that history has proved, all tyrants come to an end.
Yeah, and I think the United States is better suited for that than any other country on the planet, because it's ingrained in our DNA to be a population of resistance. It's ingrained in our DNA. This country was founded on violence. This country was founded on resistance and, breaking away. And it passes down, it passes down from generation to generation. This country will continue, and I think that's where, I think that's what sets us apart from the rest of the world. We will resist. We'll resist any type of. We'll survive tyranny. We really will.
Well, man, it's happening around the world. The amount of countries that are experiencing a very serious revolt right now is scary, and people should be paying attention to the fact that you've got British people refusing to pay bills. You've got Italy electing a pretty out there right-wing person. I actually don't know enough about her. Melanie, I guess her name is. I guess
a little bit about her at our group.
The media is saying she's very right. Regardless, Italy's not happy. Fucking Iran, obviously. Russian protests about being conscripted right now. China, they're locking up all those Muslims. Who knows what's going on in fucking China, to be honest. They're probably doing some awful shit. There's really bad stuff happening everywhere right now. And if you look into just what Christina Freeland, our deputy PM, did to the Freedom Convoy people, and just
Yeah.
how
That's
she
all-
froze their bank
when you
accounts.
think
and
about it, though,
fuck, man, that's pretty fucking brutal. So I
stuff
don't know.
like that is
People-
always happening, though. Believe it or not, if you go back, stuff like that is always happening. I just think it's happening
Fair.
at a more frequent pace now.
Yeah.
Coupled with
Because the ones in
other
charge are
things.
scrambling and throwing everything that they have, even if it's on repeat,
You
over and
nailed
over
it,
again.
dude. They're panicking.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because
You
there are
nailed
too
it
many
right
of us.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's always more of us than there are of them, and even their own. Bandit, me and you've talked about this in early episodes. Even their own simulations, like these World Economic Forums and stuff, their own simulations of how they take over the world always fail because eventually the people revolt. They have not figured
Yeah.
out. They have not figured out how to successfully.
I get comfort from that.
Yeah.
I actually get a lot of
I do too.
comfort from
I do
that.
too. Because we always talk about that silent group that the ones that really truly just want to be left alone, and they have done a good job at pushing a lot of us kind of to the light, and we have become very vocal and very outspoken about these things, and that's why the internet is a double-edged sword, because we're here telling the truth about it. And
Dude, you're
Can you guys-
stealing me, man.
Yeah, I got a good homework assignment for y'all. It's a
Sounds
little
great.
Canadian fictional documentary called The Conspiracy.
okay,
And I can't believe I just thought of it. Stream that shit. Watch that shit sometime in the next week. It's real good. And that's part of it. And I can't even, because it's funny. Let's say 5-10 years ago, you talk to people that are like, oh, I'm going to move to the woods and grow my own stuff and do this and that. I did. I was like, that's fucking pretty out there, man. That's pretty nuts. I'm ready to pack up, I think. Straight up. I'm ready to do it. I know how to start fires and shit. I'm pretty good with that. I'd have to learn how to hunt. But
is it a 2012 Canadian found footage
Yeah.
thriller?
The Conspiracy. It's just called The Conspiracy. Great movie. Really good.
I'll have to check it out. That sounds like wonderful.
Yeah. They nail it. And it's based on a lot of real conspiracies.
It says
like-
found footage.
Yeah, it's not. It's
Okay.
it's fictional, right?
All right,
But it's kind of based off almost what Alex Jones did when he went to the Bohemian Grove there.
Okay, yeah,
That was him that got that footage, right?
correct.
Yeah. No, I mean there is weird secret society rituals that happen, but that's just like religion, right? That's just another form of just a weird religion. So it's not
That's just
really that
mysticism.
out there. It's
That's
just
a smoke screen for what's really going on.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No, it has a lot to do with Kabbalistic mysticism and stuff. I don't know if you caught the series I did about the Frankists on TikTok. I did a little.
you know what? I got to do better homework on that. I know you were talking about the Frankists a lot. I'm still not 100% sure what they are.
That is me putting a name to some of these people that are working in the behind the scenes, because this group of people infected every religion and politic group and this, that, and the other across the world. And they started as people that were Jewish in in early Spain, old Catholic Spain, that were persecuted for being Jewish. And so they ran away to an area of Turkey, and they were still practicing the same Jewish mysticism while hiding amongst Muslims. Like on the outside, they were Muslims. On the inside, they were Jewish mystics. And then
That sounds like some stuff Brother Brandon would be saying.
Well, hey, I'd like to get him in with the guy that actually helped me bring a lot of this information. Like I had some of this information before, but he put a name to it. And that's a guy that's a regular on the show too, that I'd love to have you on with. Actually, his name's Michael Hall. He's a practicing Mason, and he comes on here giving us all kinds of interesting information. And me and him got into this Frankist discussion. So I did my own research, and after the Frankists got kind of booted from Muslim area, they started infecting Catholicism. They infected and helped create baptism. They also have their hands in creating like Mormonism and stuff like that. So like they have infected almost every religion in the world. And one of the things they do is practice the law of inversion. And then the law of inversion is basically like opposite day when you were a kid. Whatever they say, they're doing the opposite, and vice versa. and like it's some real interesting stuff, and it ends up running into another word that was mentioned here by Caitlin earlier. The Frankets end up breaking off and becoming what are known as the Jesuits. There's this other really cool book that I have that I'll link up to you and stuff that actually talks on all this, and it ties those 13 bloodlines of the Illuminati back into a lot of this ancient Jewish mysticism, which is just Kabbalah. It's a form of, like just ancient mysticism that you can actually find in every single religion under a different name, but it all has that weird little, holy geometric symbolism and stuff like that. Like it's pretty wild stuff, and I definitely recommend getting into it. I'll link up some books and stuff to go with it because there's some good information with that. Like it's wild to think that these dudes are secretly pulling the strings behind the scenes. And but again, like Bandit likes to mention a lot, is that at the end of the day, there's still got to be one, like somewhere, like no matter how far you go up the line in a chain of command,
you go high enough on you go high enough anywhere on any corporation or any business. You go high enough, you'll always come to one person
somewhere.
Always. So somewhere there is one person calling the shots for the whole world.
It's like the dude in the Matrix room.
Yeah.
I just had a weird
architect.
The architect.
So you mentioned you have a good friend who's a practicing Mason. One of my best friends is a Mason. He's actually invited me to join. My great grandfather was too. And the one thing he's always made clear is they really fucking hate pedophiles and want to kill pedophiles.
Yeah. Yes.
And just in line with everything we talked about tonight, maybe they're the ones kind of trying to fight. Like, I don't know if I find that now coming to light, it never made sense to me.
Okay.
But in this moment,
Michael come on here. The first time he come on here, he was telling me how the Catholic Church has done thousands of years of smear campaigns against Masonic churches and such. And
there are offshoot groups that
they also
like paint Masons in a bad light.
To be a Mason, he told me though, if I'm going to join, I need to believe in a higher power, and I couldn't tell him I did.
Yep. Yeah.
And that's why I'm not a Mason, essentially. But
well, I'll definitely have to get you on here with Michael. He's actually coming on Wednesday night this week because I've got him. I'm introducing him to these two spirit guide ladies that are pretty friggin' wild, man.
That sounds like an awesome podcast, dude.
That'll be tomorrow night. You're more than welcome if you're not busy to come back and join us. We always love having you around, man. I think you're one of our favorite guests to have here, man. Like you're awesome.
Dude, I would love to. I think I'm good tomorrow.
Right.
Let me confirm tomorrow morning. But yeah.
We'll get you on here too. We'll make it a full room. So, but I guess with that, I think it is about time to wrap up for this evening. So, John, is there anything you'd like to touch on before you leave out, or where we can find you?
Yeah, you know what? Obviously, I'm on TikTok, a Canadian John, Uncle Johnny TV on YouTube, and I'm going to mention if you guys need a good book to read, a good novel, you could check out Confessions of a Middle-Aged White Man. It's on Amazon. It's a crisp $2, and 50 pages of satirical social commentary that I wrote while I was working on Parliament Hill. So that might be something you want to check out.
All right. Well, I happen to have unlimited Kindle, so I'm totally going to check it out anyway, just since I see that my
dude.
has read
you can get her on Kindle.
Yeah. Bandit, you got anything for me this evening?
I don't have. This has been good, man.
I think this has been a fantastic evening.
It's been good.
So John, of course,
really good combos, guys.
John, of course, we'll share your links so that everybody out there listening and watching can get back and find him, because he's a great dude to hang out with, man. And y'all reach out to him and interact with him and stuff like that. And you guys make sure that you find everything that you keep up with here at unconstitutionalawakening.com. And of course, this show and everything we got going on. And, we had our newest co-host that joined us this evening, and she did hop out a little early, but that's okay. We've had that with everybody. I think that's a part of this thing. Like things happen and life is the way that it is. So, but of course, before we leave, I've always got to have something good.
Oh yeah.
So, what do 21st century pirates call women of the land?
I don't know.
Land hoes. You guys have a good evening. Thank you.